Margaret, a 65-year-old grandmother of four, always took pride in her appearance. She showered every day, wore clean clothes, and loved her floral-scented perfumes. Yet she started noticing subtle changes. Her daughter would crack open a window when she visited, her grandchildren hesitated before hugging her, and even at church, people seemed to keep a bit of distance. One day, after a long hug, her youngest granddaughter blurted out, "Grandma, you smell different." Margaret was heartbroken. She rushed to the bathroom, sniffing her clothes, her hands, even her hair, but she couldn't detect anything unusual. That evening, as she sat alone, she wondered if something had changed. Was it her soap? Her perfume? Was she simply imagining things? What Margaret didn't know was that as people age, their body chemistry naturally shifts. It has nothing to do with cleanliness or hygiene, but rather with biological changes in the skin, sweat, and metabolism. As we grow older, our bodies produce a compound called 2-nonenal-MAO, which has a slightly musty or greasy scent. Unlike regular sweat, this odor clings to clothes and bedding, making it harder to wash away completely. Margaret's daily showers and perfumes weren't enough because this natural scent wasn't something a quick rinse could remove. But body odor isn't just about skin chemistry. As people age, their skin regenerates more slowly, meaning dead skin cells build up, trapping oils and bacteria. Sweat production also decreases, which might sound like a good thing, but in reality, sweating helps wash away bacteria. Without enough sweat, these bacteria stay on the skin longer, leading to odor. Many older adults also take medications that affect digestion and metabolism, causing their natural scent to change without them realizing it. Diet plays a big role too. Foods like garlic, onions, and red meat can linger in the body's system and subtly alter body odor. Even dehydration can make things worse, because when the body lacks enough water, toxins build up, contributing to unpleasant smells. Then, there's oral hygiene. Many older adults experience dry mouth due to age or medications, which reduces saliva production. Saliva is the body's natural way of cleansing the mouth, and without it, bacteria multiply quickly, leading to persistent bad breath. Even people who brush regularly might struggle with this because bacteria can hide in places they don't normally think about, like the tongue, gums, and even dentures. The good news is that staying fresh and confident doesn't require drastic changes. Margaret discovered that a few small adjustments made a world of difference. First, she started focusing on washing key areas of her body more thoroughly. Not just a quick soap and rinse in the shower, but really scrubbing places like behind her ears, under her breasts, her neck, scalp, groin, and the backs of her knees. These are spots where oils and bacteria accumulate, but because they don't sweat as much, odors linger longer. She also started using an exfoliating cloth a few times a week to remove dead skin cells that were holding onto odor. She made sure to stay hydrated, drinking more water throughout the day. This helped her body flush out toxins that could contribute to odor. She also became more mindful of her diet, cutting back on fried foods, garlic, and excessive red meat while adding more fresh fruits, vegetables, and green tea. She learned that citrus fruits, like oranges and lemons, naturally help neutralize body odor from the inside out. One of the biggest changes Margaret made was improving her oral hygiene routine, something she had always taken for granted. She had brushed her teeth twice a day for years, but she never realized that brushing alone wasn't enough to tackle the issue of bad breath. After reading about it, she decided to start scraping her tongue every morning. At first it felt strange, but as she gently ran the scraper from the back of her tongue to the front, she was shocked at the buildup it removed. She hadn't realized how much bacteria and food particles could accumulate there, contributing to persistent bad breath. Within days, her mouth felt fresher, and she noticed that her breath smelled much cleaner throughout the day. Another significant step she took was switching her mouth rinse. For years, she had used strong alcohol-based mouthwashes that gave a temporary minty sensation, but left her mouth feeling dry shortly after. She learned that alcohol-based rinses actually dry out the mouth, reducing saliva production. Since saliva plays a crucial role in washing away bacteria, less saliva meant that odor-causing bacteria stayed in her mouth longer. She replaced her old mouthwash with a simple saltwater rinse. It was natural, gentle, and helped kill bacteria without causing dryness. After just a week of using it, she noticed a difference. Not only did her mouth feel less dry, but her breath stayed fresher for longer periods. Margaret also paid closer attention to her dentures, something she had been neglecting without realizing the impact it had on her breath. She had always rinsed them quickly at night, but she never truly cleaned them properly. Over time, tiny food particles and bacteria had built up, creating an unpleasant odor that she didn't even notice. Now she made it a habit to soak her dentures in a proper cleaning solution every night. She also brushed them gently before soaking to remove any remaining debris. Within a few days, she noticed a huge difference, not only in her breath, but also in how her dentures felt in her mouth. They were cleaner, fresher, and more comfortable. In addition to improving her oral hygiene, Margaret also started paying more attention to her clothing and bedding. She had always assumed that if her clothes looked clean, they were fine to wear again. But she didn't realize that certain fabrics, especially synthetic ones, could trap body odors even after a wash. She switched to more natural fabrics like cotton and linen, which were more breathable and didn't hold on to smells as much. She also started changing her clothes daily, even if she had only worn them for a few hours. This simple habit made a big difference in how fresh she felt throughout the day. She also made a point to wash her bedding more frequently. Before, she would change her sheets every 2 weeks, thinking that was enough, but she learned that sweat, dead skin cells, and natural body oils build up quickly, especially on pillowcases and blankets. She started washing her sheets once a week and made sure to use fresh pillowcases every few days. Since she often perspired at night, she realized that keeping her bedding clean helped her wake up feeling fresher. One of the simplest yet most effective changes she made was boring out her home every day. She had never given much thought to the importance of fresh air, but she started noticing how stuffy and musty the rooms felt when the windows remained closed for too long. Even during the winter months, she made it a habit to open the windows for a few minutes each morning to let fresh air circulate. This small step helped remove lingering odors, making her home feel fresher and more inviting. With all these small but effective changes, Margaret started noticing a shift, not just in how she smelled, but in how she felt about herself. She no longer worried about people keeping their distance or hesitating before hugging her. Her grandchildren ran into her arms with the same enthusiasm as before, and her daughter no longer cracked open windows during their visits. More importantly, Margaret felt a renewed sense of confidence. She no longer second-guessed whether she smelled fresh because she knew she was taking the right steps. Aging is a natural process, and with it comes inevitable changes in the body. But what Margaret realized was that these changes don't have to define her. By making simple adjustments, like focusing on thorough cleansing, drinking more water, adjusting her diet, improving oral hygiene, and being mindful of the fabric she wore and the cleanliness of her surroundings, she was able to reclaim her sense of freshness and confidence. These weren't drastic lifestyle changes. They were small, manageable steps that made a huge difference. Margaret's story is a reminder that everyone, no matter their age, can feel fresh and comfortable in their own skin. It's never too late to make improvements, and a little effort can go a long way in maintaining not just good hygiene, but also self-assurance and a positive sense of well-being.